Over the last year, I have dedicated myself and my entire career to understanding AI and what are its viable use cases. And after all this time, all the conferences, conversations with data scientists, developers, business owners, executives, and investors, I've come down to 3 filters that you want to use when identifying AI use cases for your business. So the first is I'm calling the AI staircase, which is the natural maturity level for us to have confidence that AI can take over any business process or business unit. This can exist without AI because manual work then can be kind of cheapened or made faster with data automations, and those data automations can be packaged into software which can house it all. And from here, then we have a true line of sight into AI because of what I'm calling observability, right? As we put these machines into place, you need the entire digital trail to cross-check, to verify, or to keep things into boundaries and identify anomalies. There needs to be a digital trail. So it's very unlikely that, because this has actually happened. I go in, talk to a business owner, and we start talking about the deep pain points that are, some highly skilled person or somebody with tribal knowledge has to do heavy manual effort, and it's very annoying for the company. Absolutely. But if you don't have a means to automate parts of that or to get it into software where you have a digital trail that, observability can kind of keep it to boundaries, it's very unlikely we're going to be able to just jump straight to AI, right? That intelligence doesn't just carry over very naturally to everything. Over here is the probabilistic versus the deterministic solutioning. This is reference to how LLMs actually deliver their answers, how AI models deliver answers, which is in a very probabilistic way. At its very basics, LLMs are guessing machines. They have been trained on so much volume of data, but all they're doing is guessing the next best word. There's not a lot of logic underneath, it's just pattern recognition. When we're talking about a solution that guesses, there's opportunities for mistakes and there's opportunities for what are known as hallucinations, which is just blatant lies or things that the LLM had made up while it was guessing the next best word. And so you see this when it comes to like lawyers who reference something from an LLM and they got disbarred because it made something up, right? So that's how fundamentally these AI machines work versus a business process or a business enterprise software that is already deterministic, which has high stakes with low fault tolerances, right? You could say a medical diagnosis would fit under here. You would say like financial transactions and movements would fit under here. Because deterministic software, given a baseline of facts, if this, then that, it's very easy to understand the way the system got to that decision or got to that solution. And so this is fundamentally where we would draw that line. Places where high probabilistic is fine is generating code, right? Because code needs to get compiled and needs to actually run before you can submit it, right? High volume, low stakes, high fault tolerance. In really unique cases like protein analysis and protein folds in the biotech space, they're used to large fault tolerances when they're guessing the next protein that can fit this model, right, to potentially be a cure. Because they're dealing with high fault tolerances already, that's a very powerful place to use AI to just get a lot of that work and automation done, right? So that's kind of the distinguishing factor. And then when talking to business owners and business leaders, don't forget about the 10x hero, okay? While it's very exciting to think about what we can do if we were to replace an entire business process or business unit with AI, let's not forget that we can just make 10x employees, right? The marketer who's able to 10x themselves, the software developer who can 10x themselves because they're moving so much more volume through the benefits of automation, but in producing that work. If you're an executive, right, leveraging the automation and the power of that AI intelligence to do the research for you, to aggregate, summarize, build analysis, to give you recommendations on, you don't have to, these are the 10 options in front of you. You don't have to research all of them by yourself, right? So that's certainly a huge place that I think gets lost when we get excited about replacing business processes is just how do we have a culture in the organization where we're encouraging people to play with these tools. The idea here is how do you get as many Tony Starks and Iron Men in your team? Because while AI may not take your job, the person using AI very well may. And understanding that distinction and understanding that, maybe it's just like having a culture of people using AI so you have 10x heroes. And so that's my Plinko board, right? In every conversation, I'm gonna be using this in the back of my mind, asking, okay, whatever business process you have, do we have the maturity and have we shown that line of sight into AI using the staircase? Are we talking about a very deterministic process that has high stakes and low fault tolerance? Because maybe that scenario isn't worth sacrificing the security and the deterministic nature of it just so we can say that we brought AI into the organization, right? There's maybe too far of a jump over there. And then lastly, let's look at the tooling. Let's look at the different people, teams, capabilities of your organization. And how do we make those individuals 10xers and just increase their output, increase their effectiveness? I think right there are the first principles way of thinking about AI, whether or not something is a viable use case. And of course, this will be a good framework, but happy to talk to you and share my own experience as well.